Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 887. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
A mild, you know what? It's kind of a light week in the land of Doctor Who, apart from a casting announcement that happened. But honestly, I'm kind of okay with it because the Gallifrey one is coming up a month from now. 1 month. From 1 month from today, I will be on a plane, hopefully. I say hopefully because you know how the airline industry works. February 15th is when we're...
To the extent it does.
Yeah, when we're arriving. I know, Chris, you fly out earlier. Warren's flying earlier this time around. But so anyway, it's I feel like I'm once again for the however many years running, apart from 2021, of course, when there was no Gallifrey 1 because of the dreaded COVID-19 global pandemic. Once again, Gallifrey 1 has sneaked up and taken me off guard. And I feel like I am ill prepared for the weekend. Even though there's a month away to do it, I'm still feeling blindsided. I don't know about how you two are feeling, but...
Well, the answer is just don't do anything.
Yeah, that's an answer, I suppose.
Go to LA, go to Galley, just sit in the corner, just don't do anything.
Just don't do anything. Don't be on.
It's just be the anti-Nike. Just don't do it.
Oh, see, but that's not how we do it, though. We at Radio Free Skaro
try something new.
We do the opening show. Which more this week. We'll probably say more about that, and certainly on the next episode of this whole podcast, because we kick off the convention every year, have done so on the main stage since 2012, if you can believe it. And also there's other stuff coming for Gallifrey 1, and I know that I have some duties to perform at Gallifrey 1. When it comes to duties and stuff, so
wow, keeping it classy.
I know all this stuff is sort of is beginning to weigh on my mind. Plus, I've got two Doctor Who marathons going at the same time because I'm ridiculous.
That is your fault.
That is my fault.
By the way.
That is my fault.
Yeah, that's on nobody but you.
Yeah, because I'm watching the classic series one a day. I'm starting Black Orchid today. Yes, I know you're jealous.
Yes, you're getting all smutty.
Boy.
Yeah, getting smutty. Who never shows up for cricket, and then I'm watching David Whitaker one episode a day of that in preparation for the memory cheats, let's face it. And also for preparation for Gallifrey 1 because, a lot of people from the Jodie Whittaker era are going to be there. And I haven't properly sat down and watched that series since we actually reviewed them. And so I'm enjoying it, actually. I enjoyed, I didn't enjoy Orphan 55 last night as much as I did the first time around, I think. But
you're coming around. Glad to see it.
Maybe a little bit. There's parts of it that were kind of like annoying to me, but parts of it that I also very much enjoyed. So, and then on top of that, and this is where I'm leading to, we're trying to record as much stuff like commentaries and miniscopes during this fallow time before Doctor Who resumes again in November and then never stops. And so we're trying to get all the side content out of the window and onto our Patreon feed. And so I'm watching a whole bunch of stuff for that and like doing research for that. So I've been watching altogether too much Doctor Who this past week, and it's not often I say that.
And you completely hate it, don't you?
I kind of do now. I think
you're no longer a Doctor Who fan. You're switching to Stargate SG-1.
That's
keeping it current.
It's in the realm of possibility. I mentioned the before I forget the Patreon thing. If we sent an email out to our Patreon supporters, but we I don't know what happened with our Patreon feed where we post like our commentaries and our miniscopes and some other stuff are for early access for our Patreon supporters, and the feed broke coincidentally when we changed the graphic to the new artwork that we have now, and apparently messed it up. So if you're a Patreon supporter and you're thinking, wait a second, where was my Lie of the Land commentary last week? Well, it showed up on our new and improved feed apparently. So check your inbox, Patreon supporters, for that. And if you want to support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thanks very much. We're trying to front load a whole bunch of stuff on there over the next few months. As I say, commentaries and miniscopes and stuff before we review new Doctor Who and its spin-offs every single week starting November of 2023. Probably
the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it'll be could be a pretty eventful time come November. So there. Chris, how you doing? You weren't on last week's episode because you were unable to, and then we pre-recorded the our commentary and time lapse the week before that. So it feels like you haven't been in front of a microphone in like 3 weeks. So what's going on? How you doing, Chris? Tell the listeners how you're doing.
Way to put me on the spot. Thanks.
Yeah,
no, I actually it does feel like it's been a while.
Yeah.
No, some scheduling conflicts last week just didn't allow me to partake. Hence Erica's participation, and I actually had some health-related concerns.
Oh, I wasn't. You didn't.
Not that I'm going to get into that.
No,
here,
you didn't
but,
do a deep dive. I'm just saying, how you doing? How's Doctor Who doing? Have you watched any Doctor Who? Have you cracked the?
Are you doing 3 marathons at once?
Yeah,
I'm doing 17 marathons at once.
You haven't even cracked the plastic on the season 22 box set yet, have you?
I haven't even
Chris,
finished.
you're taking the high road here.
I haven't finished
admire
season
this.
17. I'm still on disc 7 of 8 or whatever.
Right.
I've got Shada and the last disc to go on season 17. Plus, I haven't cracked the plastic on 21.
2.
Good
Yeah.
man.
22.
Keep it up.
22.
I haven't cracked it on 21 either, but that doesn't exist yet.
It doesn't yet.
I have pre-ordered season 2.
Yeah, that's coming out in
North America.
late March. Yep.
Yeah.
Late March.
Yeah, I didn't jump the gun and buy the UK version, but although, as we've talked about off air, you may have made the correct decision because you're going to get the complete version of the chase.
Completely by mistake. Completely by accident. I totally didn't even
by
A
think
story
about
you
that.
hate, by the way. A story
I
you
know,
loathe.
but I want
But
to see.
he wants the Beatles.
I need the Beatles, man. Need the Beatles.
And the
Okay,
Beatles aren't
completionism.
going to be on the North American release by all accounts. So
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
probably
whatever
is.
shall I do? What'll I do without that?
I know.
Not watch any of it. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. Oh, it's good though. I watched the. I must admit, I'm kind of when I'm in editing podcasts, I sort of throw on the stuff on the TV in here, and just have it on in the background. But I did specially watch The Crusade because I'd never seen The Crusade in cleaned up format and with production notes. I love production notes. It's my favorite feature on all of Doctor Who Blu-rays and stuff. So it was the first time I was able to do that. And they even have it on the Telesnap Recons, and they don't have production notes on the animated Abominable Snowman. And I haven't watched the Abominable Snowman because of it. Partly out of spite, because I want to read the production subtitles. So they don't have it.
Yep, I have yet to. Man, I gotta get my butt in gear with some of this Doctor Who backlog because I have yet to touch Evil of the Daleks, Abominable Snowman, Galaxy 4, plus those Blu-ray sets mentioned earlier.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot, and then come March, Chris, there's gonna be like 42 episodes of Doctor Who on that set.
I'd say thankfully it's still 2.5 months away, but I mean 2.5 months that flies.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
That flies, especially once we get into like full on galley mode and stuff. And then when galley wraps up, it's only like a month until then.
Yeah.
Until the season 2 Blu-ray hits.
Yeah. It's gonna. I'm as I said before, I'm both intimidated by and looking forward to Gallifrey 1. In video gaming news, Grand Theft Auto Online finally got rid of their snow cover. They do every holiday season, and so now it looks like LA in February again. So now I look
I'm
at.
gonna have to go check out the Marriott or that area that's sort of Marriott-ish
near the airport.
Right by the airport.
And
I haven't done that in a while.
I did last night. Actually.
I think I will after this, just to do it.
Yeah, I did.
Take a spin by the In-N-Out.
Yeah,
that is not there. The Up and
like
Adam. Get your lore right. Come on.
Yeah, Up and Adam is the burger chain in condensed fake Los Angeles in that video game.
Can I just sing the praises of GTA? Like 10 years of this game, and I still catch little jokes here and there on signs, on doors, and stuff like that. Like the insane amount of detail they put in this game is it's baffling to me.
It's quite something. I do appreciate the hard work. just think how many literal sleepless nights those poor people.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that. That sucks. But.
to make that game happen. Yeah.
Is it like all the Elcar's gags on Next Generation?
But multiplied by a million.
Elcar's gang. Is that a reference to Dana Elcar, who played MacGyver's boss on MacGyver? Oh, okay. Guess it is Dana Elcar. Look it up. You can't find the original MacGyver anywhere. Not even like Pluto TV. I don't think it's on there. It should be on there.
What a tragedy! Well, I can't believe
that's
it.
a show that
How could you do a MacGyver marathon now? Right. In addition to your other marathons,
you have to be stuck with the remake.
I don't want to watch the remake. No. I want to watch the original Richard Dean Anderson MacGyver. The proper one.
Which one are you, Patty or Selma? That's the real question.
I'm Sideshow Bob. Actually, that's not true. I enjoyed MacGyver back in the day.
I really liked MacGyver.
I never liked it. I didn't care. It's the same formulaic crap that everything else is from the 80s. Come on, guys.
Loved it. No, it was great. MacGyver was a guy who solves problems using his wits and his brains and stuff with no guns. Basically, he's Doctor Who. Yeah, he's American Doctor Who. That's as close as you can get. And it was great. And
the mullet is the main thing.
And some episodes are written by Terry Nation. So there's a Doctor Who connection there.
Were there really?
Yeah, absolutely. He moved to the States and to write for MacGyver.
Well, I knew that, but
yeah,
I did not know he wrote for MacGyver.
He wrote for MacGyver. Gallifrey 1, as we mentioned at the top of this here show, is coming up, and some new guests have been announced, including Tim Treloar and R.O. Wynne-Jones and David Schirmer, the latter two who are production designers at Daft. How do you pronounce it? It's Welsh. This whole episode is Welsh today, so we have to get.
I only know it because of Little Britain, but Daft. Oh, Matthew Sweet. I did not. Yeah. I hadn't seen this yet, so Matthew Sweet's back. Nice.
Breaking news to Chris. Yeah, Matthew Sweet's coming. Yep. He's coming back.
You can sit on the grass with him again and like have a picnic and frolic.
Last year, frolic. That was the greatest thing. The new Radio Free weather permitting. Apparently, it's been very rainy and cold, 48 degrees Fahrenheit in LA these days. But one of my favorite things to do, because I didn't want to like cram people into a hotel because there's masks and everything else, and so let's go sit on the sunny grassy knoll and do interviews, and that's what I did with Rob Ritchie and Matthew Sweet last year. And I think that's the new thing. That's the new thing. Let's go outside in the sun and talk. And it was just a nice, relaxing conversation. So that's going to be the new thing, hopefully. Matthew Sweet's coming back, which is
nice.
Which is cool.
R.O. Wynne-Jones we had on the live show many moons ago.
2015. I think we decided. Yeah, is when it was.
Yep.
Also, this is kind of cool. There's some special Friday signing guests from various, local actors, so to speak, who are in the area, and they want to do some signings and have not been in Doctor Who, but they've been in other things. One of which is Casey Biggs. He played Damar, the renegade Cardassian leader on the greatest Star Trek show ever made, Deep Space Nine. And he last appeared at Gallifrey 1 nearly 25 years ago, 99, I think it was. Which is alarming that 99 was almost 25 years ago. But that's basically...
that was 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
That's basically when DS9 ended, which is kind of cool. So I love DS9.
Yeah, it'd be toward the end of the run, because DS9 just at the 30th anniversary of The Emissary.
That's true. Golly, what a show. It's so good. It's so good.
I tried to do Voyager after that, and I stalled out 7 episodes in.
You did stall out, didn't you?
I can't.
Yeah, you were.
I'd never gone back. It's that pineapple head. I can't remember his name now. I'm so mad.
Pineapple head. Nope, it's pineapple
walking
head.
around going, Mr. Vulcan. Okay, I was just gonna say he's a racist for saying Mr. Vulcan. Who am I for saying Mr. Pineapple Head?
That's true.
but having said that, he just keeps saying Mr. Vulcan. I'm like, oh my God, stop saying that. It's so racist.
It's kind of bad.
Also, that is aged significantly less well than Deep Space Nine. There's a lot of, not quite Me Too, but Me Too in small capital letters. I don't know. Like, it's not great.
Yeah, it's not good. Not a good
Tom
show.
Paris, iffy man.
Yeah. Anyway, Casey Biggs is there. They also announced, but it's sold out now, so you can't get in. A evening guest reception for Jodie Whittaker on the Friday evening. She's not even officially at the convention until the Saturday, but they opened up. If the Saturday one was going to sell out, and it did, they opened up a Friday one for a evening guest reception with Jodie Whittaker and co, and that is sold out as well. So Jodie Whittaker, hot ticket at the Gallifrey One convention. So yeah, we were talking about this offline, but the schedule should be coming out. Probably 2-ish weeks before the actual convention is usually when it happens.
Somewhere in there, probably.
Yeah,
around there. Yeah,
but they might announce like highlights and stuff this coming week. So we shall see, folks. But yeah, excited once again to have you two back on the stage again, because of course it was just me last year. Because I was the only one that went because of the COVID-19 global pandemic, which is still going on. But to be fair, it's not like Warren and I do that much up on the stage, just because the way it works and the way it's laid out, and the difficulties with hearing. Did they have monitors on stage last year? They did have monitors on stage.
That was the first time, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so that might make it easier if monitors are on the stage again.
Yeah.
Because that's always been one of my dislikes about the main stage is it can be difficult for people to hear each other on the stage.
It's weird up there,
just because of how just distance and how flatly lined up people often are and things like that. So Warren and I don't tend to do a heck of a lot, just because it's a lot easier for you being the closest to the guest or guests to do the questions. But
also,
no, if we have monitors on stage and they can actually hear us without having to make it all awkward, because it's hard to hold a microphone and have the person hear us, but not have to scream at them for them to hear us.
Right.
Scream into the mic and, whatever.
Also, you are the best interviewer, Stephen. So, I mean,
thanks.
Why the hell not? But, it'd be nice to get a question or two in there.
It would be nice. I know. Yeah. Well, maybe you can. Now there's monitors.
Who we're going to ask the questions of? Well, yeah, like you said, Stephen.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hopefully this week we'll be able to say that's going to be a fun show, fun way to kick off Gallifrey One like we have done for many years. Great honor, a great honor to do so. It's going to be fun.
I haven't even asked. I assume Chip is going to be generous with his time again and help us out on the tech side of things.
No, we're having to pay him. He wants money this time around. So
fair enough.
We will have, and that's coming from you, audience. It's not coming from us. So we will pass a hat around. Kindly put your money in there.
Coming from Chris specifically for asking the question.
Yeah, no, Chip will be there. Last year, because he was busy or with he had to use the iPad for something, so he couldn't. Usually, Chip flashes big on his iPad with big 10, 5, 2, that sort of thing.
We all own iPads. I'm sure one of us could bring ours if
exactly because of that, and because it was it was only me up there. I didn't have a lot of chance to sort of look at my watch, because that'd be rude. So I sort of propped up an iPad just on the other side of the couch, so I could just glance down. Okay, just at the general times you were at here, and so yeah, we get it done. Little behind the scenes action there for you. It's terrifying because the first guest we know is going to be there, because we meet them very shortly before going on stage. But then after that, we're at the whim of the Wranglers.
Youch.
And it's dark because you can sort of see it's just silhouettes in the back, because the backstage area is dark, and so you look off the stage and go, well, I hope they're there, and now this person, and then you just hope they come on stage.
I'd like to say it is, what's the word I'm looking for here? I can't remember the word, but good things come of it is what I'm trying to say.
We've made do.
Yeah, Nick Abadzis and Rachel Stott were our guests a lot longer than they were supposed to be, and now Nick and I are friends probably because of that. So that's good.
Oh,
well, last time we were waiting for
serendipitous. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, serendipitous.
We were waiting for
Katrin Stewart and Jimmy V. I think both went missing or something for that last segment of that live show.
Okay.
That's who it was, and I don't know where they went, but
I got to meet up with Jimmy V later that weekend.
And you chastised him, and you.
I did not.
It was
Beat him soundly.
It was a very given that he's like 3'8" or something, and you were 6'10", and it was just a very awkward conversation of you just berating him,
and him saying, "I can't hear you.
Yeah.
What's going on up there?
Get down here!"
Yeah. Cops had to drag me away, for otherwise it'd be a hate crime.
That was a different thing that the cops had to drag you away for. Gallifrey 1, a different year, Chris. You're blending them together once again, but
just to talk about the link in the show notes that whatever.
What is the link?
The Jodie Whittaker,
Yep.
the Jodie Whittaker based receptions have sold out, but there are others. Other evening guest receptions are available.
That's true. There's one on the Friday with Colin Baker, Bonnie Langford, and co. And then there's 6:30. There's 8 o'clock with Sophie Alder, Katie Manning, Wendy Padbury, etc. And then there's Saturdays, and there's like 3 a day basically, 5, 6:30, and 8. So there, Jodie Whittaker sold out though, because everyone's pretty excited to see Jodie Whittaker at Gallifrey 1, and I think she's going to have a wonderful time at this place.
That's got to be a record for Doctor Who, ex-Doctor Who to Gallifrey attendee.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, it took 16 years for Eccleston, since he left Doctor Who to show up at a convention.
No, haven't had Tennant Smith or Capaldi yet.
Yeah.
Nope. And John Hurt was there.
Well, that's true.
But he's a one-off. No offense to John Hurt, of course, but
it's not quite the same.
Not quite the same.
Okay, but it was pretty cool to walk down the hall and have John, MF, and Hurt walk by you. You're like, oh my God, acting
Hurt.
Royalty, John Hurt.
Sir John Hurt.
Dude, you were in Caligula.
You were in Heaven's
Was he?
Gate.
I don't think he was, actually.
Yeah,
I don't
know. No, he was. No, you were probably thinking he was Caligula in Claudius. That's what you're thinking.
Nah, sure. I don't know.
Yeah, because he was.
I haven't seen either.
I have.
I actually never saw him wandering the halls, but I did see him in the dealer's room, and even just
just
seeing
awesome.
him just over there,
Right,
was still kind of like daunting and cool.
Yeah,
and it's it's always weird because you get these big named movie actors and things like that, and you actually see him in real life, and obviously my perspective is going to be a little bit different than almost everybody else, but he's like,
because you're tall.
He's not that tall of a person. Like, you think of somebody like of the like the box office draw and stature of somebody like Tom Cruise, regardless of what you think of his personal views.
I don't like where this is going.
He's still a massive box office draw, and he's like 3'6".
He's very small, very small man.
First of all, there's a couple reasons for this. A, it's a lot easier to light a guy who's about the same height as the woman he's standing next to.
Right.
That's the main reason male actors are generally shorter, because it's just easier technically to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason Stephen Merchant isn't, the biggest name on the planet.
Yeah,
even though
I'm
he
also
should
guilty
be.
of this because I thought Spielberg was a lot taller than he is. Spielberg's my height because his movies are awesome and he's awesome. I always thought, this guy's got to be 6'5", so I'm just as guilty as anybody else of this nonsense.
Because he's
working against myself. That's some self-hate talk.
Yeah, well, Warren, it always comes down to that eventually. We always work around to your own self-hate. This podcast for 16 years has been a therapy session for you, Warren. It's,
well, it's failing otherwise.
I don't know how it's working out. Yeah, pretty bad, but
not well.
Not well. Some people finish therapy a lot sooner than 16 years.
That's true.
Yeah, part of it is somebody on the podcast being unnervingly tall and thinking that's the norm for some reason.
That could be us. That could be both of us to it. That could be two people, Warren.
Yep.
Yeah. 6'4" is perfectly normal.
Stephen and I are completely outside the statistical average for that.
Yes.
Way
It
on
should
the,
be shamed
way on the
for
right
it,
side of the
actually.
bell curve.
Yeah, that's great. Oh man, Gallifrey 1. This is the first time for you two in like 3 years too, which is also exciting. So
I think so.
Okay, so yeah, it is, and that is. It's really weird how it does not seem like it's been 3 years,
right?
But it seems like it's been 3 years.
Yes, exactly what you said, Chris.
Yeah,
like it's just this weird mental hybrid thing of it's been forever, but it's barely been 5 minutes.
Yeah, you've only missed one Gallifrey 1 basically because there wasn't one the previous year, and then there was last year's.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But even just like not being there last year and not experiencing some of the changes that we'll experience this year, like masking on the on the convention, in the convention area and things like that, which before had never been a thing. Like just different. It's gonna be different. At least, it's still gonna seem weird.
Yeah,
but it's still gonna seem familiar.
Yeah.
And just talking talking to people or seeing friends post on Facebook and things like that. And just as word of mouth starts to grow and people are like, oh, I'm flying in this day and I'm flying this day. And, oh, what do people want to do on the Thursday? And what do you want to see around town kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Excitement's definitely growing.
Yep.
A lot more than it had been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome. I'm really starting to get ramped up for it.
I know you were like sending on our little text chat. He was like, 35 days until we fly out. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
You're down there, Chris. We got stuff to do. We have mini scopes to record on 70s directors. Just like get your priorities straight here, Chris. You know, I know what you mean though. It's always exciting. It's always exciting. By the way, for those that who have only started listening to this podcast in the last couple of years or something, we do an official Gallifrey 1 preview show the weekend leading up to it. So we'll do that then when the whole schedule's out, and we'll talk about panels and stuff that we would like to see and yet likely won't get to, because that's just how Gallifrey 1 works sometimes. So that's all coming. But can you tell we're kind of excited about this year's convention?
Well, we've already talked about one thing we want to do at Galley relative to a later news item. So
I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're alluding to. That's a teaser to me now. Yeah, it's
you're the one that brought it up.
Oh, probably it's a long time ago though. Anyway, just keeping on the convention angle here, Katie Manning, who's going to be at Gallifrey 1, has also been announced for the first guest for Long Island Who 60, because it's the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, don't you know, this calendar year. And this year's LI Who is happening in August 18th to 20th. Up in Holtzville. Our good friend Ken Deep is going to be there. I'm told that one James Naughton, ex of Podshock, is going to be able to attend this one because it's in the summer. So a 2/3 Podshock reunion happening at Long Island Who, coming in August 18th to 20th. So I hope that maybe we can find Louis Trapani, get them all there together, and it'll be like, wow, it's like, you know, and have like a photo call in the garage or something like that, and that'll be it, just like the Three Doctors is. But anyway, Katie Manning's going to be there. Who wished Richard Franklin a happy birthday today. Richard Franklin's 87 today. I can't believe he's that old, but I saw that on Twitter. So yeah, LI Who happening. I probably won't happen. I mean, you know, November in is going to be a busy time for Doctor Who things. So maybe
just a bit.
Yeah. So perhaps that's Ken's thinking that moving it a little earlier in the year to sort of escape the hubbub of November of the official 60th anniversary celebrations is probably a good thing. So if you didn't want to go to Long Island in November when it's cold, go there when it's nice in August 18th to 20th.
Is it nice in August, or is it like all muggy?
It's not cold. I'll say that. I've never been there in August.
It's Edmonton nice. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, it's probably like, I don't know what the weather is like on East Long Island, but
it's more humid earlier, I think. Although August is when everybody takes off out of Manhattan. Well, everybody who's rich takes off out of Manhattan. So maybe it is hot as god awful hell. Or maybe I'm thinking of Europe when everybody's on vacation.
I know. Do they go out to Long Island from Manhattan in August?
Isn't the Hamptons? I'm going to embarrass myself terribly.
The Hamptons are on Long Island, like the
okay, all right,
East Coast.
Well, yeah, all the rich folk go to the Hamptons and snob it up there.
Well, maybe they'll be coming to get autographs from Katie Manning then at Long Island too.
maybe the Venn diagram of incredibly rich Manhattanite and Long Island Who attendee. There's got to be somebody in there.
You never know.
Didn't Katie Manning
Anderson Cooper. That's who.
Yeah.
Katie Manning lived in the U.S. for a while. Was it New York based, or
did she live in? No, she lived in Australia for the longest time. I didn't know she lived in the U.S. I know Matthew Waterhouse lived in Connecticut.
Because when she was friends with like Liza Minnelli and Jimi Hendrix and stuff.
No, because Liza Minnelli was based in the UK, and so was Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix sort of gone.
That would make more sense.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, he was part. Yeah, they didn't. Jimi Hendrix was born in Seattle. They didn't necessarily stay there. You know. Went to the UK. He got a big foothold in the UK. Jimi Hendrix did, and that's where
Katie Manning was on a 5-year contract with MGM, living in the US.
Oh,
so I don't know, I'm not going to look very deeply, but yes, she was definitely living in the U.S. somewhere for a time.
Right. Find out more about Katie Manning's jaunt in the U.S. at Long Island 2.
Extra and paint your wagon. I completely made that up.
August 18th
She started up a production company with Liza Minnelli when living in the U.S.
What a life. My God. Katie Manning. Oh, I never forget that this or that at L.I. Who in 2017, I think it was. I can't remember what year it was when it was her and Ingrid Oliver. And they were basically like, Katie Manning just letting little details of her life, just like, just casual asides about, and Ingrid Oliver just like literally dropped the mic and just like that. No, I'm out. This is it. What a life. Like she was just gobsmacked at what Katie Manning has done.
God, yeah. Well, even something that other people can see, her interview with Matthew Sweet. Speaking of Matthew Sweet,
right,
on whichever Blu-ray it was, season 10?
Probably season 10, yeah.
I think it was season 10.
Might have been 8. Might have been 8. I don't remember which one. One of the
whichever one it was.
One of the Pert ones, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not going to be a Colin Baker one. Jeez.
Maybe it was.
It's just very, very in-depth and very candid and very like just your jaw's on the floor half the interview just with the life she's lived.
Yeah. Stunning.
Also, from all accounts, a lovely human being.
She is great. I've met her I was on a panel with her. Katie Manning was Katie Manning. But I've met her in other offstage circumstances, and she's just wonderful and bubbly and full of energy and stuff. So
yeah, I don't think anyone out there has a bad thing to say about her.
No, not at all. So there we go. So she's coming to Gallifrey 1 too, obviously as well. So there. So if you miss her at Gallifrey 1, or if you just want to see more of her, she's going to be at L.I. Who, August 18th to 20th in Long Island. Casting news. Boy, it took us 32 minutes to get around to this. Who needs a busy news week for us to prattle on about nothing? Gemma Redgrave returns to Doctor Who, and Aneurin Barnard joins the cast as well as the mysterious Roger Ap Gwilliam. Ooh, who can he be?
He's actually an app. That's the secret.
He's an app.
Yeah, they found him on the App Store.
He did. There was literally one. I usually steer away from set photos and stuff, but I did see a news report about Gemma Redgrave being on set, which is most likely why they announced it, because they knew they're going to be shooting in public and location. But yeah, good to see. Hopefully, Unit is a little more impressive in the
organized
in the RTD2 era than because I feel like Brexit and government cutbacks hampered Unit in both on and off screen in the Jodie Whittaker era, and maybe Unit has a more fuller presence perhaps.
They did have a whole skyscraper that they thing exploded at the end of Power Doctor, so there's that.
That is true. But it wasn't, it was mostly a Kate Lethbridge-Stewart operation in Power of the Doctor. I
suppose.
And not so much a...
But also Ace's old clothes are hidden there, so who knows?
Yeah. Not anymore.
RTD obviously brought Unit into the new series, but it wasn't until Gemma Redgrave coming on as Kate Stewart that it giving Unit that face, that figurehead, really made it like a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if this is one of those things where he he just, like Moffat did him a massive solid with that,
right?
And the same thing happened in the classic series as well. Like Unit being there, okay, fine, but it wasn't until Nick Courtney comes along as the Brigadier that Unit really is like worth caring about.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Unit fades out. Like Unit's in Android Invasion, the Seeds of Doom, but the Brigadier's not there, and so it's like, do they count as Unit stories? No, they don't. Nobody, it's just...
Isn't Harry Sullivan in that one?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say...
Harry Sullivan and Benton were in Android Invasion, but they don't... They were so mistreated in that. It just doesn't feel right. And then they got, randos.
I agree, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the fan vitriol over unified intelligence as opposed to United Nations?
I know.
We're so mad.
I think they just call it Unit now. They don't even bother to call it unified intelligence. I think they just say Unit. Just say Unit. It's like East Coast Hockey League. It's no longer East Coast Hockey League. It's just ECHL because there's teams all over the place now. So they just...
the good old Etchel.
Etchel, yeah. Anyway, Aneurin Barnard, I don't know where he's been in because I only watch Doctor Who, but he's been in stuff apparently, and now he's in Doctor Who, and so people were excited. But I've never seen anything other than Doctor Who. So, Chris, do you know him from anything? You and your
Nope.
No. Okay.
Completely new to me.
No, me neither.
All right, but he's Welsh. And he's Welsh.
Yeah, good for him. Apparently he was in Dunkirk. I saw that, but I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup in that.
Never saw Dunkirk. There are Doctor Who actors
I did.
in it, though.
It's fine.
Yeah. There's probably some Doctor Who actors in there, so I should probably watch that to see if
Harry Styles is in it.
Bought them.
Barely noticeable.
Oh, well. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway.
I have nothing against the guy. He's in it, and you wouldn't know unless you told me.
Yeah. Did we, Chris, I think did we talk about this last week? I don't remember, and it certainly was not on the week before, so maybe it is news, but Mark Tonderai is directing Block 2 of Doctor Who, and you never had your chance to weigh in on that. Are you excited about Mark Tonderai returning to Doctor Who?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Miniscope inclusion notwithstanding, yes.
That's right. Oh my God.
That is the key after all.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Come sometime in 2024, Mark Tonderai enters the Miniscope, and that's going to be an exciting thing where we can finally officially talk about his directorial work. We have to completely ignore it up until then, up until the end of that third episode, and then and only then we can talk about it. So there. Is this, Chris, is this the thing you were alluding to, the Simon Guerrier thing?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Simon Guerrier is going to be at Gallifrey 1. I'm looking forward to speaking to him. It's been a while.
Yeah, he is an awesome dude.
He's an awesome dude. He is on the Blu-ray for season 2, the one that I ordered from the UK. And thus now has the Beatles one on there. And I watched the documentary Looking for David. It's such a good documentary that I don't want to spoil it, even though it's just a documentary on things. It's such an interesting story that when everyone can get it in North America, then and only then will I speak about it, about what happens. But Simon Guerrier's research went into that because he's been researching a lot about David Whitaker. And he did the Black Archive book on the Evil of the Daleks, of course, which was written by him. He's doing another Black Archive book on the Edge of Destruction, which is coming out sometime later this year. But his actual book about David Whitaker, called David Whitaker is David Whitaker in an Exciting Adventure with Television, will be out in the second half of 2023 from 10 Acre Films. The book, they publish books as well. So yeah, it's not available for pre-order yet, but when it happens, I'll be all over that because I think it'll be quite fascinating.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Done
a lot of research into it. So
there's a lot of stories to be told about those early years of the Doctor Who's, and it's always awesome when somebody with somebody can get in there and get those stories and get that in-depth look at things and stuff, because there's I'm just waiting for a tome on Bunny Weber.
Good old C.E. Weber.
Yep.
Don't know if it's coming. You might have to write that one yourself, or maybe get Warren too. Warren's had a little more experience. No offense, writing books and stuff. So Warren, can you get on the biography of Bunny Weber, who contributed ideas?
I don't know if I'm all that more experienced than Chris writing a book, since I haven't.
Well, you've written for a book.
But I've written a bunch of stuff, yes.
Yeah, you've written stuff. You're a writer.
I mean, I haven't done any formal research since university, and that was a long time ago.
Oh, boy. Not like researching for a Miniscope on Radio Free Skaro. Let me tell you that.
No, that's just slacking and lazy.
Yeah. One last bit of tat news to come. A book. Chris has trawled the Amazon.co.uk, which often has early pre-orders for books and stuff. And here's one that's coming August 24th, the week after L.I. Who, Doctor Who, Josephine and the Argonauts by Paul Mars, which is basically brand new crossover adventure. The Doctor meets the Greek myths. So interesting take on that. We barely have
public domain adventure.
Yeah, it could be it too, actually. Yeah. So that's coming in. If you want to pre-order that, links in the show notes. RadioFreeScaro.com. It's time now, though, to do what we do every week for now, anyway, until we run out of things to talk about. In the past, it's the Time Lash. What happened this week in Doctor Who history? As I said before, January 15th, happy birthday, Richard Franklin played Captain Mike Yates on Doctor Who, and also was one of the scientists shot in the reshoot edition of Star Wars Rogue One. He's in there. Look close. He's in there. Him and Nick Hobbs.
Barely, but
shot.
you're right. Yes.
Yep, he's in there. So
he's wearing a poncho. in the rain.
He's a scientist. Him and Nick Hobbs, who played Agador, are both, which has to be some inside joke casting wise, are in there getting shot. Maybe they had bigger parts of the film because that film got chopped up. Let me tell you, chopped up.
We need the guy who played Agador. We really need a guy who can run around in a furry suit for no reason,
right?
Who isn't Chewbacca?
How do you randomly? You don't randomly cast a unit captain and a unit squad. He was in Claws of Axos as well.
Of course you do. There was a call that went out for old scientists, and these guys are old, so they applied and got in. Right. Because they have resumes a mile long, probably.
Speaking of Benton from earlier, don't forget John Levine was, a Yeti, a Cyberman.
That's right. Yeah, he was too.
Before he was Benton.
Yeah, he was. It's true. What? Anything else jumping out at you two at January 15th?
1996.
Yep.
Canada,
Vancouver
baby.
Pride.
Is that was that the first? I'm dipping back.
I scrolled back a couple of days, and that's the first mention.
First day
that within the last few days anyway of the TV movie recording in the Vancouvers.
Yeah, Vancouver. So yeah, that was like day one. I wonder what they shot there. What was it? Part of me wants to say that. I think it was the scene with the doctor and the chickens and the truck and stuff. I think that was the first thing they shot for the.
Here's the thing: it's always something underwhelming with whatever first day is. It's always sometimes because they're easing into stuff, sometimes or something really complicated to get it out of the way. Right. So who knows? But usually you're like, oh, that's it. There's some insert for whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Gotta start somewhere.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you got to assemble the damn.
Yeah, God, what a time! What a time! You go. UTSO has a wonderful book about the locations in Vancouver and the shooting of that.
Well, it's a photo book.
It's a photo book, but it's great. It's just.
I really should go to those locations. Yeah, I've been to the bench where the kiss happens.
Why haven't we done any of this, Warren?
Yes,
why haven't we done
exactly.
it? Yeah.
Why haven't I specifically? Laziness. That's why.
You need to go to those locations and take a picture of yourself holding the book in the location, do a selfie, and just
Well, first I'm going to stop you right there.
Every photo in the book.
Selfies. No, I hate selfies. I despise them. Not a chance.
Okay, get somebody else to take the picture of you then.
No, I have to hang on to other people. I don't like any of these ideas. I'm a Doctor Who fan. I don't have friends. Come on.
Oh, it's true. Oh man. Anyway, anything else on the whatchamacallit, whatever day we're on? Yuck. What do you got there, Warren?
2007. Still, bar none, my favorite RTD episode of all time. Recording for Utopia.
Utopia. Oh, what a great episode that was with Derek Jacobi. He was in Claudius too. We mentioned earlier in this podcast.
I mean, you see a lot of Twitter accounts. I can't believe they went this hard, which is dumb. But that was definitely an episode where they went that hard because it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and it goes. Oh, we're not done kicking you in the ass. Here's another one. Here's the master, by the way.
Yeah, everyone thought it was just a Blake 7 episode. This random Blake 7 episode where they're just on some stupid planet.
Nobody but you thought that.
No, a lot of people. The trailer, because the trailer was like, oh wow, this doesn't look very good at all.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
and then
Well, that's when you know it's going to be good, when there's a crappy trailer.
Yeah, that's true actually. Fugitive of the Doctor, I feel like, oh well. Or Fugitive of the Jadoon. That one, I remember that trailer was
very underwhelming trailer. Yeah. And then surprise, surprise. And then you
saw
The Girl Who Waited.
Yeah,
horrible trailer.
Yeah, good point.
Great episode.
Yeah, that is actually. Let's move on. December 16th, Marco Polo is getting recorded in Ealing Film Studios. That's exciting. Okay, first off, I want to. I
know where you're going with this.
Can we just jump to 1967?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Roger Dixon. I don't know who Roger Dixon is. Here's what it says on the website. Roger Dixon proposes The Ants, Bar Kosh Bar, The King's Bedtime Story, The New Machines, The Return of the Neanderthal, The Sleepwalkers, Twin World, and at least one other untitled story.
Actually, none of which got made.
No,
right?
I just how official was this? Did some guy Roger Dixon go? Did they call him up? I don't know who was it, Indus Lloyd or whoever was producer at the time. Sort of phone up. What do you got for me, Roger Dixon? I don't know. The Ants. We kind of did that.
Just looking at stuff on the shelf.
Basically,
the ants they're shrunk down to 1/10 of an inch in height.
Right.
And they meet super intelligent ants that got made super intelligent because of atomic bomb testing in the Nevada desert.
Sure. Also, Kang the Conqueror's in there for some reason.
Right. So there are links to all these in there, which is amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
And then Bar Koshbar, 2nd century Palestine.
Wow. Cool.
What's the next one?
Very
King's
tastefully
Bedtime
done in
Story.
1967 if they were to make that. I imagine. Yeah, that would have been great. Wow. Yeah, none of these.
Some of these ideas are not bad.
Yeah. Well, it all happened.
The King's Bedtime Story. The Doctor and his companions are forced to perpetually enact the King's favorite story without changing any aspect of it. Doesn't say what King, but that's kind of neat.
Wow. I feel like that was the day that LSD officially entered the Doctor Who universe, because this just sounds like an LSD-infused meeting, you know?
Right. Same time Spider-Man went into LSD mode.
Probably, actually, yeah. Wow. What else we got here? Warren, you said you were going to jump on something there that was...
No, I was agreeing with you on 1967.
That's madness, isn't it?
Although 1980 is interesting, because Lalla Ward's like, this seems serious. I hate it. Goodbye.
Yeah, Lalla Ward is contracted for the first 20 episodes of season 18, unhappy with GNT's more serious direction for Doctor Who. She says, nope, I'm out. Get me out of here. And so she did. A woman to her word. She left and says, well, I'm taking Tom Baker with me. For now. Because she got married.
1975 is fascinating to me. Recording for Genesis of the Daleks takes place on the premises of Bob Burra and John Hardwick, whoever they are, in Crouch End, London. I can't think of anything that isn't studio-bound or in a field in Genesis of the Daleks, so what's that all about?
Where was that? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm just scanning back. It was all done, I mean, I don't think they filmed any special filming.
You got the Thal city, which is probably the same side as the Khaled city, and everything else is out in a field or a trench or something.
Yeah,
nonsense. Maybe they're out in somebody's field, and that's the premises.
Was the wasteland, the Muto wasteland? Was that
maybe? Yeah.
Was that precious quarry on the premises of these two people? I don't actually know.
The thing is, they breed drone crabs, and so you couldn't take them out anywhere. You had to go to their premises to use the drone crab. So that one specific scene is not studio bound as you may think. It is actually on the premises. I'm completely making this up.
Right.
The premises in Crouch End that's where they breed the giant clams.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Drone clams.
Yeah,
You're right. Sorry, I said crabs.
Little known fact that the giant crab scene was actually filmed at a crab sanctuary.
Clam. We keep getting this wrong.
Clam, not crab. Clam. Yeah.
I completely ruined the joke by getting the name of the creature wrong. What a jerk I am.
That's all right.
Yeah, you are. Your punishment is I'm moving on to 1979 when John Lloyd abandons the Doomsday contract due to other commitments.
They did I think they mentioned this in a documentary at some point, didn't they? Because this sounds vague. No, they came out with a big finish recently. That's what they did. John Lloyd, of course, produced Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in a couple years' time. Had a Doctor Who episode in the works, but yeah,
he was very close friends with Douglas Adams.
Good old Dougie Adams.
And this would have been like a season 17 possibly script. And of course, known for QI amongst many other things.
Blackadder too, right? Wasn't he in Blackadder?
Blackadder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
No, he was in with the whole the whole Cambridge folks.
Yeah,
so
the Cambridge
Douglas
Mafia.
Adams.
Let's call them the Cambridge.
Douglas Adams and Richard Curtis and all them.
Emma Thompson.
Yeah,
was Emma Thompson in that? Stephen Fry?
Emma Thompson, Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie. Those all like one big cadre of people.
Yeah.
With Stephen Fry, and he was talking about, it's Emma Thompson, who lived 3 rooms over from me. I'm like, what? Really? Okay. Like, they're all just chums.
Yeah.
At the university, initially, yeah.
Yeah. Like me learning that the person who played somebody in The Massacre is actually the father of Emma Thompson, which is something. I don't know. Just tying it back to Doctor Who, Emma Thompson's dad and mom appeared in Doctor Who related things. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? 86. Colin Baker is contract. What a difference a year makes, by the way. This happened January 15th, 86. 16th rather, 86. Colin Baker is contracted for season 23 with an option for one additional year. And the year after, the same day, Andrew Cartmel becomes a script editor of Doctor Who. What a difference a year makes. Yowza.
Yeah.
Well then.
Obviously, they did not take up the option on poor old Colin Baker. Still a tragic oversight. I like Colin Baker. I like him a lot. There, I said it.
Yep. Moving on.
Nobody's arguing.
Yeah, moving on. January 17th. What happened January 17th?
1966. A couple stories from Brian Hale's Abandoned, which is probably good because he wouldn't have finished them in the first place.
True.
We should just rename the time lash What Happened.
What
That's what we keep
happened?
gravitating towards.
That's true.
Yep, Fred Willard involved somehow
Yeah, late Fred Willard.
from Beyond the Grave.
Also, David Whitaker's The New Armada is rejected as well. I don't know what that one's about, but this is where Chris usually clicks the links and tells us what these lost stories are all about. What was that one about, Chris?
Stuff.
Okay.
Reign of Terror replaced it, by the look of it.
No! It's 1966. It's 2 years prior to that.
Oh, no.
I think we're just done. I think Innes Lloyd probably just said, "Yeah, we're not doing.
I don't know.
We're not doing the historicals anymore, David Whitaker. So you can f off." That's probably what he said.
I'm too lazy to read.
Yeah, because that's probably why. Because the moon. Yeah.
19. I'm gonna jump ahead to 19. Oh no, that's episode 3.
Talk about it anyway. Talk about it anyway. What are you going to talk about?
Spearhead. Spearhead saved Doctor Who.
Oh. Fine.
Season 7 saved Doctor Who.
It did.
I mean, full stop.
It did. Full on. It's still one of the greatest seasons of all time. I can't wait till that comes out on Blu-ray. I can't wait till anything. Listen, I can't wait till season 15 comes out. I can't wait till season 25 comes out on Blu-ray. I can't wait. Yeah, you probably can. Season 7, though. So good. Let's see. What else we got here? Anything else jumping
1973.
Yeah, what happened there, Warren?
Malcolm Hoke commissioned to provide a storyline for Vision of Dinosaurs, which tells me that they came up with the title first and the story later.
Oh, yeah. I think so, actually. It says, we could do
I like Invasion of Dinosaurs,
yeah.
but yeah.
We could do you some real good dinosaurs. You just got to write a story around it. It's a good story. It's a good story. Underrated, I think.
Great story. The puppets ruin everything.
I can't wait to see season 11 on Blu-ray. I think that's an underrated season of Doctor Who. And we just watched the Monster of Peloton. Peloton.
Yes, we did.
The Monster
Which also
of Peloton.
I didn't hate as much, even though it does drag. But
that's true. I've never made that connection before. Peloton and Peloton, which amuses me.
I would like to see Agador on a Peloton.
I think that would probably be the best thing for him in the dungeons. There, he doesn't get the exercise that he wants.
You can ride a Peloton bike, and all you're doing is powering mining equipment.
Or conversely, those annoying Peloton coaches are running around in Peloton, making everybody annoyed, and then the Ice Warriors murder them. I kind of like that one.
Oh man, this is whoa! Just save these.
Your prattling.
Personal trainers.
Save your precious plot elements for your story you're about to write, Warren. Please.
Yes, the Monster of Peloton.
Yeah. I want to mention 81 debut broadcast of Warriors Gate episode 3 on BBC One. So directed by Paul Joyce, famous cantankerous director of one Doctor Who story ever. I bought the Criterion edition of Straw Dogs and watched the movie for the first time. I bought this movie unseen because I wanted to see it, and it was a sale on Criterion Blu-rays. Right? 7-pack pod, 1971. Dustin Hoffman, shot in England with more than a few Doctor Who actors in it, if you're wondering. So obviously, I was waiting. There's multiple reasons to do that. I go and look at the extras, and there's like 2 or 3 different documentaries made in different years. I think one's from like 2007, one is more recent to the Blu-ray release. Both documentaries about Straw Dogs directed by Paul Joyce. I thought, what? I was not expecting that. So, yeah, Paul Joyce has gone on to like direct like documentary stuff as opposed to, wannabe German expressionism, on a BBC TV Center budget. So, yeah, he's gone on to do stuff like that, which you might find fascinating. But maybe not as much as I find fascinating.
My weirdest sort of cinema adjacent, I guess, thing is that Gabriel Anwar's dad, Tariq Anwar, was an editor of filmed inserts on Doctor Who before he did a bunch of other much more notable stuff. So every once in a while you're watching like, Tariq Anwar, what the hell? And I actually read his tell-all book, and it's quite funny. He does not hold back on what he thinks about most people.
That's fascinating. He was on The Sunmakers, as I recall. I think that's one of his only credited appearances.
He's in a couple, yeah.
Yeah,
because I spotted his name the other day.
Yeah. 2004, January 17th, 2004, Russell T. Davies begins writing Rose. How about that? Some 6 months before they actually shot it, so if not more. His first album. How about that? Golly gee. 2004. Millie Gibson was like 3 weeks old at that point. She's very young. Very young.
Wasn't she
so old.
No, she wouldn't even have been born yet.
When was she born?
She's 18 now, and that was 19 years ago.
God, it is too.
So she'd be like a twinkle in her parents' eyes, as they say.
That's true. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, you got something
do
else?
A quick throw out for 2011.
All right, what's happening?
Recording for A Good Man Goes to War. Not for the story itself, just for Lorna Bucket guest actress Christina Chong, who's now broken out kind of big in Star Trek as Lon Noonien Singh.
Oh yes,
Strange New Worlds.
In Strange New Worlds, I called her.
Start in Doctor Who.
I watched one episode of that, and I called her character Captain Doomscroll because she just brings everyone down. Everyone just sort of happy-go-lucky. Oh, let's have some dinner in Captain Pike's quarters and stuff. And then she goes, I grew up in a war zone. And she's like, everything she says is just like the worst thing that ever happened to anyone.
Here's the thing, Stephen.
Right.
Now you got to watch all Strange New Worlds. These are the rules. You made them up yourself. You have to follow them.
Warren.
Nope, you got to do it.
I stopped classic Star Trek after 2 seasons, and then I watched Spock's Brain. I thought, you know what? Apparently, the 3rd season is even worse than the first.
But a Doctor Who actor was in it, so now you're cursed.
No,
it's just the way it is.
No, don't have to anymore.
Well, you've turned a corner, and I'm very proud of you.
Well, I mean, there's other shows to watch for. I got to get through Bergerac still. All right, so
you got other pointless waste of time to get to. Gotcha.
I still haven't started watching Quiller. All right, I mean that's
you should
something I got to do. That's post Gallifrey. I got a lot of stuff to watch before Galley.
I get it. I get the Quiller imperative.
Yeah,
I was waiting for Michael Jaston to be announced as some last minute guest, and then you're gonna have to scramble to watch Quiller because you'll end up being the one interviewing on stage.
I was told by someone that apparently he hated that show, making it, or what? I don't know if he thought that the thing was.
Remind him of it. Then.
I know, such a missed opportunity. Now that I finally discover this, I gotta have at least one more interview with Michael Jaston to talk about Quiller with him.
Wow,
Quiller was a BBC show from the 1970s. It has the most amazing theme song and opening credits.
It's pretty great.
There are many Doctor Who actors in it. And it never was released on DVD or VHS yet. Somehow all the episodes are on YouTube. Yes, I downloaded them just in case they disappeared from YouTube. And I need to watch it because there are Doctor Who actors in it, and it's made
need to watch
by
it.
the BBC in the mid-1970s, and therefore it is catnip to me.
Like you qualified that to get out of that Star Trek loophole.
Yeah, it is catnip to me. I need to watch it. January 18th, happy birthday, Mark Messier. Legendary Edmonton Oilers and New York
Funnily
Ranger.
enough, not on this list.
No, but I remember birthdays quite well, and I remember his being January 18th.
And happy birthday to Christopher H. Bidmead, 82nd.
82 years
82nd
old.
birthday.
Yep. Still kicking. Good old Chris. Man, he was a handsome man back when he was on Doctor Who, and they show like archived photos of him when he was like dating Helen Mirren and stuff. Like, yeah, I could see it.
At 82, he's looking good. Just him and what's his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name. First director of Doctor Who.
Waris Hussein.
Thank you, Waris Hussein. Also a very good-looking man in his later years and earlier.
Yeah, handsome people.
Nobody beat
Doctor Who.
well, I guess he's passed on now, but Bernard Hawley. Man, that guy aged really well.
He did. Claws of Axos and Tomb of the Cybermen phase. Yeah. Anyway, happy birthday, Chris. Remember when we did a mini-scope on Christopher Hamilton Bidmead, and I don't know if we tagged him on
Warren
Twitter
did.
or somebody else did.
Warren did.
And he listened and critiqued our mini-scope on him.
I don't remember doing that, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's great. Somewhere, it was years ago now. I don't remember what it was, but when he was a little more active on Twitter, it was pretty cool. So that's our brush to fame with Christopher Hamilton Bidmead. What else happened in
1979?
What happened, Chris, in 1979?
Great.
Tom Baker abandons his demands for creative control and agrees to a contract for season 17.
There was
For the last time, no cabbages.
Yeah, that's what it said. Very end of the contract. P.S. There was a time in Doctor Who after season 16 and before 17 where Tom Baker was very close to actually leaving the show, which is
It was a touch out of control.
A little bit. But you see that it abandons his demands, but then he basically changes it on the fly with every single word he utters on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I do like how in the list it goes 1980, Tom Baker is contracted for season 18, as if you can almost smell the defeat off 1980. It's like Tom Baker is
1 year to the day later.
Yep, crawling through the supplicant's door there. You go through there. Don't forget, you're here forever. Tom Baker. And he quits. So that was a pretty exciting thing. They make a lot of modern Doctor Who, by the way. They just record it. That's the thing. They make a lot of modern Doctor Who in January, because literally every single calendar year, pretty much from 2005 through 2011, they're making new Doctor Who. So, popular time, January in Wales. Let's all go out there and make some Doctor Who. That's how that goes. January 19th. 1966, Ian Stewart Black is commissioned to write The Savages. First time writing for Doctor Who.
Yeah. I remember back in the day buying the Target book for that. And never actually reading it.
No.
Yeah, I read it. I don't remember a word of it.
And then eventually doing a recon of it. Was it for Ian Stewart Black? Must have been for Ian Stewart Black for the miniscope.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did that. We did him a year or two ago. Because we also did Macra and
War Machines. Yeah.
War Machines. But damn, that's a hell of a story.
It's interesting.
That's a hell of a good story.
It's
really,
interesting.
really, yeah. Interesting is a good word, yeah.
Yeah, good thing they never called it the White Savages. That's one of
Savages is kind of bad enough.
It's kind of bad enough as it is, but to sort of say, you know what, there are also white savages too, which is interesting, isn't it? Oh
God,
colonial Britain just rearing its head right there. That was a close bullet dodge.
It's like the 60s version of Blue Lives Matter.
Let's just walk swiftly away from that.
Let's just say Fraser Hines, 1968, January 19th, is contracted for 16 episodes, beginning with The Wheel in Space. I still love that the main cast is still basically negotiating their contract 16 or 20 episodes at a time. Oh, my God. TV back in those days. What a temporary fascination.
Here's one that I don't know about that I don't know if you have any light to shed on this, Stephen.
All right.
1974, debut broadcast of Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Oh, it's just the same thing I listed twice. Sorry, I thought it said 1 and 2. I thought it was episode 1 and 2.
That's a mistake. That's what's called that. That's a mistake.
That's just a duplication. Never mind.
But
That'll teach me not to read.
Yeah, for the purposes of many who watched the Invasion of the Dinosaurs growing up in North America, it was Invasion of the Dinosaurs episode 1, because that's where the omnibus started.
And technically in the UK as well, it was still Invasion of the Dinosaurs episode 1.
Yeah.
Because episode 1 was called Invasion.
Exactly. You know what I was thinking about the other day? And this is dumb. And
Dinosaurs.
Warren will laugh at me for doing this, for even thinking about this. But I was thinking, because, I got rid of all my VHSs of the recordings of the omnibus versions off of KSPS years ago, right?
No, I can see where this is going.
Yeah, I've never seen the omnibus versions offered anywhere else. I'm thinking, I'm sure people have. Why haven't people edited together omnibus versions of classic Who stories? And part of me wants to do that now. Am I wrong?
Specifically do bad edits because they would often screw it up and not do it right.
That was weird.
Throw some black space in there.
I know, it's so weird that it would change. Like, I remember, when I would watch one and they go, okay, that was a weird edit, and then it come around the next time and it was better, or vice versa. Sometimes they go, oh wow, they included that cliffhanger twice for some reason. So for some reason they kept making new omnibus edits for the North American market. It was very strange. Anyway. I
make fun of you, but I pipe up with this nonsense. Oh, they did this and this and this, so am I better? No.
Right?
Probably.
You kind of want to do it yourself too, don't you? You want to make let's make a good omnibus version.
No, I don't. That sounds like a lot of work. Right. So no, I don't.
Well,
bad ones is part of the charm, frankly.
That's true. Maybe next. Maybe I don't know. if I ever need a make work project, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Don't. Can I just come in and do an intervention here? We need to bring back the A&E show intervention and specifically make it about you and Doctor Who. We have at least 3 seasons worth of material here.
And Doctor Who marathons.
Yeah, I know.
And Doctor Who marathons.
That's a whole
Yes. I mean,
season
people will
on
get
its
sick of watching it because who cares about some guy watching Doctor Who? But
So
1984. This is key.
yeah,
What's
Ingrid Pitt and Tony Rudlin, who's her husband,
right?
are commissioned to write the first episode of The Macro
That
Men.
is stunning.
And I looked this up. I
right.
looked up, I went to Wikipedia and checked
Okay.
this out. Apparently, she wrote a number of ill-fated tracts on the plight of Native Americans. That's Wikipedia's phrasing. Then she wrote a novel called Cuckoo Run, a spy story she took to Cubby Broccoli.
Oh.
Then she wrote a novelization of the Peronair in Argentina. She said, Argentina was a wild frontier country ruled by a berserk military dictatorship at the time. It just suited my mood. Then they go into the Macro Men, which was after she was in Warriors of the Deep. So somehow she thought that gave her license to pitch something to Doctor Who. But it was about the Philadelphia experiment, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
And-
apparently
and the
they
Sixth Doctor.
pitched a bunch of stuff, and this is the only thing that actually had any traction. And Big Finish did a production
Yep.
of it in 2010.
There you go.
that's astounding. I've learned things.
Yeah.
Yep. This podcast teaches us so much about Doctor Who and our obsession with it.
And lest we make fun of her, she grew up in a experienced her youth in a Nazi concentration camp. So, I mean,
That's
she
true.
went through some crap.
She went through some crap and Wars of the Deep. So I mean, it was
And
like,
Wars, yeah, that too.
Anyway,
Are you trying to compare a Nazi concentration camp to Warriors of the Deep?
I would never compare that. Not even as a joke. Not even as a joke.
Just asking. Just asking.
Yeah, let's move on to January 12th. I'm just looking at the clock right now, folks, and we try to hammer these things out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That is literally 27 minutes away from this very moment in time. Can we say January 20th, 1934, happy birthday, Tom Baker.
89 years young.
89 years young.
Wow.
What a
Impressive.
titan. What a titan. Tom Baker. God love him. 1966, the BBC is asked to credit Leslie Scott as a co-writer of The Ark alongside Paul Erickson, despite Leslie Scott having precisely nothing to do with The Ark, written by Paul Erickson. I think Leslie Scott was Paul Erickson's partner at the time, and he wanted to get her a writing credit on the BBC, and so there we go.
Very Hollywood of them.
Yep. Yep. So there you go. Anything else happening on January 20th, Tom Baker's birthday, that you want to talk about?
1988.
Yeah, 88. Go for it, Warren.
Kevin Clark is commissioned to write the final 2 episodes of Silver Nemesis and is in charge of the war crime for writing the final 2 episodes of Silver Nemesis.
Stop it now. Go back in time to January 20th, 1988.
You know what this needs? Limo scenes.
Limos. Man.
Yeah. 1979 debut broadcast of Armageddon Factor episode 1.
Yes.
I love Armageddon Factor. I love everything
So do
about
I.
Doctor Who.
So do I.
Oh, God, what's wrong with this? What is wrong with this, Warren?
I don't care. I don't really care what's wrong with me. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his birthday. That's Tom Baker's birthday episode. That's the only episode of Doctor Who that went out on Tom Baker's birthday while he was a doctor. So, how about that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. There you are. All right, January 20th.
The press begins to report Mary Tam's departure as well
Oh, 1979.
on the same day.
Damn him. Lost Mary Tam far too early. Far too early. Let's move on to January 21st and get the hell out of here. I can't believe we've talked about nothing for 70 minutes on this damn show.
I can.
Actually, I can too. 1964, Terry Nation is commissioned to write the Keys of Marinus in place of the Red Fort. The Red Fort was a historical episode that he was thinking of writing. He says, no, write something that we have no budget to
Give
do.
us brains in a jar.
Yeah. What else we got here? Anything else jumping out at you on the 21st? I'm mostly looking at the clock now, so make it quick.
Death of
1975,
Jeffrey
Barry
Orm.
Letts. Sorry, go ahead.
Barry Letts commissioned to provide a storyline for The Prisoner of Time.
Another one that we don't know anything about. And I'm not looking up because of time.
That's true.
Yeah, fourth
you're a
Doctor
prisoner
Sarah
of.
Jane story.
Yeah. That's true. Did that one get turned into...
Philip Hinchcliffe killed that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not a surprise, really. But anyway, We're out of time. We're out of time on the show. It rarely happens when we have arbitrary deadlines to meet, but that's how the cookie crumbles this week. Don't know what's going to happen next week. We're just sort of having fun talking about Doctor Who again. It's been the three of us haven't been able to do this for like 3 weeks, so hope you enjoyed putting up with that this week, folks. So next week, who knows? More of the same, possibly something else. There you go. There's your preview for episode 888.
Hopefully talk about our Galley live show.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll see what happens. So, but until next time, everyone, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.